Very good morning, Arets. Today, let us study a new chapter, that is tribes, nomads, and settled communities. Chapter 7 from the class 7th history. This chapter help us to deepen our understanding and of course to solve some preoccupied thoughts related to tribals, nomads and settled communities in India. Whenever we speak about tribals, we always assume, we always assume that the tribals or the Adivasis are generally uncivilized or illiterates or less educated and not having awareness about the modernization. But if we go deep in the study or research of life of Adivasis, then definitely we arrive at a conclusion that their understanding in certain areas like awareness about medicinal plants, awareness about nature, climatic condition, it is very higher than us. So let us study the chapter in detail. You saw in chapter 2 and 3 and 4 how kingdoms rose and fell. Even this was happening, a new art, craft, production activities flourished in the towns and villages. We studied about the Tanjavur and other places where the art and craft flourished. Over the centuries, the important political, social and economic development had taken place. But social change was not same everywhere. Whenever we speak about political, social and economic development, there is no need that along with the economic, social and political development, equally the social change may not happen. Because different kinds of society evolved differently, it is important to understand how and why this happened. Now, what do you mean by social change? Take for example, today we are in 21st century, and whenever we speak about 21st century Android mobile phones or robotic science, but can you ensure that this robotic science or modern technology is available to 100% Indian population who live today? If we ask this question, then it is very doubtful, because we are very sure that maybe more than 30 to 40% of population in India, they may not get the facility because of various reasons. So that is what we are going to study. And every community got its own phase or speed of change. That is what we are going to study. In large parts of subcontinent, society have already divided into rules of Varna. Varna is nothing but caste system. These rules are prescribed by the Brahmins. So whenever we speak of the caste system, the Indian caste system was divided into Varna system, Jati or Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. And who decided the caste rules? The caste rules are described or prescribed by the Brahmins, were accepted by the, most of the time the rules prescribed by the Brahmins were accepted by the kingdoms and kings. The difference between high and low, between rich and poor increased. The difference between high caste and low caste is increased over a period of time. That is what we are going to study in the next chapter, that is devotional path to divine. How in Karnataka Basavanna or Basaveshwara had a revolution because of inequalities practiced in the caste system. Under the Delhi Sultanates and the Mughals, the hierarchy between social class grew further. So the difference between rich and poor, upper caste and lower caste, it is increased during the time of Delhi Sultans. This is one painting about the Santali painting about the tribal dancing. Beyond the big cities and tribal society, there were, however, other kinds of societies as well. Many society in the subcontinent did not follow the social rule and rituals prescribed by Brahmins, nor they were divided into numerous unequal classes. Such society often called as tribes. So what is tribe? The society which are divided into various unequal classes, they are called as tribals, because most of the time the society or the rituals are decided by whom? Decided by the upper caste people or the Brahmins. Members of each tribe were united by kinship bonds. Kinship bonds is nothing but the bond of blood. Many tribes obtained their livelihood from agriculture. Others were hunter-gatherers and herders. Now, tribal population, most of the tribal population, their major earning is from the agriculture and associated activities, and few were hunter-gatherers. Hunter is nothing but, of course, involved in hunting. Gatherers means the tribals, they used to collect the forest products like honey and other forest products and sell these forest products in the market. So they get their livelihood from collecting and selling the forest products. They also involved in hunting or cow herders or pastoral community. Most often they combine all these activities to make full use of natural resources in which area they lived. So what are the major profession of tribals? Please write down all these things. The major profession of tribals is nothing but they were hunter gatherers, or they are involved in agriculture and allied activities, or grazing of animals or cattle. Some of the tribes were nomadic and moved from place to place. Now few tribes were nomadic. Take for example in Karnataka, Kurubas. Kurubas are the nomadic tribe. They take sheep or lambs and move from a place to place in search of fodder, because seasonal or cyclical movement is very common. That's the reason why they move in search of pasture for their animals. So few tribes were nomadic. Nomadic means they move from a place to place. A tribal group controlled land and pastures jointly and divided these amongst the households according to its own rules. Many large tribes thrived into different parts of subcontinent. They usually lived in forest, hills and desert places difficult to reach. Sometimes they clashed with more powerful caste-based societies in various ways. The tribes retained their freedom and preserved the separate culture. Even today, if you observe the tribal community, they preserved their culture. They not only they preserved their culture, they also preserved their identity, separate identity. And most in few occasions they had a clash with the another tribal groups who lived in the forest area. But the caste-based and tribal societies also depend on each other for their diverse needs. This relationship of conflict and dependence gradually caused both society to change. So even today the tribals change a lot because of the various social requirement. Now let us try and understand what is the meaning of tribes. Contemporary historians and travelers gave very scanty information about tribes. few expectations are apart. Tribal people did not keep written records, but they prescribed rich customs and oral traditions. Very important. Most of the tribals in India, they don't have a written document because of literacy, lack of literacy. But they are very very famously known for oral traditions, traditions, customs and traditions passed from generation to generation through the oral tradition. These were passed down to each new generation. Present day historians, they have started using such oral traditions to write tribal history. So tribal history, few historians started an activity of collecting the tribal history from the tribal leaders and making it as a document. Tribal people were found in almost every region of Indian subcontinent. The area and influence of tribal varied at different point of time. Some powerful tribes controlled large territories. So let us make the study of tribals. In Punjab, Khokar tribe was very influential during the 13th and 14th century. Later, Gorkhas, Gakras became more important. The chief Kamal Khan Gakhar was a mansabdar by the Emperor Akbar. In Multan and Sindh, Langans and Arguns dominated extensively tribe regions before they subdued by the Mughals. Baluchis, another important tribal group. Baluchis were another large and powerful tribe in the northeast. They were divided into many smaller clans under different chiefs. In the western Himalaya, they lived shepherd called Gadi shepherds. Gadi shepherds lived in western Himalayas. In the distant northeast part of subcontinent too was extremely dominated tribe called Nagas, Ahoms and many others. So few examples. Gadi shepherds, the tribal community in the Himalayan region. Gadi shepherds, they generally rear the sheeps, and Gadi shepherds movement in Shivalik mountain ranges. During the winter, they come down to the lower part of Shivalik region, and once winter is over, they will move to the upper part of Shivalik region. This seasonal movement of Gadi shepherds is very important for their survival, as well as not only their survival, they also do this activity so that certain kind of economic or trade, because when the Gadi shepherds are there in the lower part of Shivalik mountain regions, they sell the woolen products and get some livelihood. So that is what regarding Gadi shepherds in detail you will study in your upper classes, class 9th and 10th. That is pastoral and nomadic community. There is one particular chapter dedicated to the pastoral communities of India. We have other the tribals like Nagas, Ahoms. These are the tribals in the northeastern part of India. In many areas of present day Jharkhand and Bihar, Chero chiefdoms emerged in the 12th century. Raja Man Singh, Akbar's famous general, attacked and defeated Cheros in 1591. Those who have seen Bahubali movie, you may be seen the tribals attacking on the Mahishmati kingdom. A large amount of booty was taken from them, but they were not entirely subdued. Under Aurangzeb, Mughals force captured many Chero fortresses and subjugated the tribe. Mundas. Can you tell me the famous name among these Mundas? That is Birsa Munda. Arjun Munda, of course, a politician. Now Birsa Munda is a freedom fighter. He got a great name in Jharkhand. And Santali tribes were among the important tribes that lived in the region of Orissa and Bengal. Orissa is considered as the tribal state in India because large number of tribals are found in Orissa. So we have the tribals called Mundas, Santalis, Cheros, Ahoms. Okay, so every tribal group are meant for their own separate culture as well as the way of life. That is what, and most of the time what I mean, the tribal community played a greater role in the constitution or in the inclusion of army during the Mughal rule. Later, when we study about Indian history during the British period also, there are enough examples of tribal chiefs protested against the British laws. Okay, so this is a map related to the tribal communities in India. Now you see, there are various tribal communities located in the different states. Different tribal community located in the different states. You see Ahoms. In this part of India, you can see Ahoms. Okay, and Naga tribal group. Okay, then Cheros. Okay, Mundas. Then Himalayan part we have tribal groups. Beals is a tribal groups. Okay, Konds is a tribal groups. Koya is a tribal group. Beals and Kolis is a tribal group. Okay, Marwars. So few examples of tribal groups here. Konds is a tribal group. So there are few examples of a tribal group and their location is described shown located in this particular map of India. Location of some major Indian tribes. Yes, what is the meaning of word clan? Okay, it's clan. So let us check the meaning of word clan. A clan is a group of families or household claiming descent from a common ancestors. We have studied about the origin of Mughals. A tribal organization is often based on their kinship and the loyalties. In Maharashtra, the highlands of Karnataka were home of Kolis, Bedas and numerous others. Kolis also lived in the areas of Gujarat, and further in south were a large tribal population. Koragas is a tribal population generally found in South Kendra, Dakshin Kannada district of Karnataka. Vetaras and Marwars, the tribal groups generally seen in the Tamil Nadu and Kerala states. So Koraga is a tribal community in South Kendra district of Karnataka. So tribal, what we understand from all these examples, that tribals are found not only in one particular state, tribals are seen everywhere, almost in all the states. The large tribes are Beals. Beals are the large tribe who spread across western and central India. So which is the largest tribal group in India? They are the Beals. By late 16th century, many of them had become settled agriculturists and even zamindars. Many Beel clans nevertheless remained hunter-gatherers. So what do you mean hunter-gatherers? Hunters are those who hunt the animals. Gatherers are those who collect the forest products. Gonds were found in great numbers across the present day Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. So Gonda or Gond population is found in how many states? They are found in present day Chhattisgarh, they are found in present day Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. So Gond, Bhils, Ahoms, Nagas, Kurubas, Koragas, Kurumas, Gadi shepherds, example for certain tribal groups. Okay, so we are started a topic in which the tribals, how the tribals they depends on their kinship. Then we also studied about how the caste system or the clan system or the Varna system controlled, Brahmins controlled the or prescribed the caste rules and regulations. And we also studied about the professional of tribes. Means most of the tribes are involved in agriculture, few were hunter gatherers, and most of the time what we have seen, they are the nomadic population. Nomadic population means a population move from place to place in search of fodder. Then we also studied about the meaning of tribes. Okay, we have seen the map of the location of tribal population and the clan. What is the meaning of clans? And then few data related to the tribal population in India. Okay, so please make a note of whatever the points highlighted in the explanation part. Tomorrow we will continue the chapter with the further topic, that is how nomads or the tribal population, they slowly turned themselves into settled community. That is what we are going to study in the next class. Thank you. Wish you a wonderful day.